Hey, over there with it. Oh, shit. Ooh. Oh, shit. Keep on! Keep on! Keep on!
What's up? What's up, my PBM family? What's up? Another episode of Old School Cops. Shane is running late, so I got my boys to jump in and fill in. So look, I normally ride 2-man unit. Looks like I got 2 of my boys to come in. Dominique Izzo, he's new to the unit. You guys seen Dave already. He's our DEA specialist, 20 plus years on the job. So, you know, you guys send me the videos and then we critique them. This particular video, I'll let the guest, the new guy on the block, Dom, tell me what you think about this video.
About the cop getting socked in the jaw?
Yeah.
I think training kind of sucks. I think he's learned a hard lesson. They better go back to the drawing board. As simple as that. Especially when you wind up throwing hands instead of control tactics. There's always a massive risk of getting your ass kicked.
Most definitely. I couldn't agree with you. Couldn't agree with you anymore. So look, check it out. This is what I see, right? I see an officer who gets into a piston match with a subject in the playground. First of all, we're supposed to be the professionals here, right? Now, I know on the street sometimes a lot of guys, they like to talk trash, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I talk trash back, right? But it gets to a point to where once safety gets involved, that's when the professionalism should kick in. He's up in the guy's face, said, what you gonna do, what you gonna do? The guy just snuffed him, took off running, and the guy was a lot faster than the officer, and he took flight. The officer just took the L, which it just was bad. It was just bad business all the way around. My boy Dom said is training. Me as a training instructor, I would never teach that. So I would say it's a lack of training. That shit was just horrible. You step to a guy like he was a street thug, then say what you want to do, then he gets punched in the face, and then the guy takes off running. I think the officer took the L. I think when it comes down to defensive tactics, and I'll let you guys chime in on it, I think police departments across the nation don't spend enough time when it comes down to showing their officers how to defend themselves, how to put people on the floor, handcuffs. I think we really have a problem with law enforcement defending themselves and teaching them to feel comfortable to go hands-on. A lot of times we see these incidents where if the officer just went hands-on, we wouldn't have made national news. There's a level. I think my brother used to say, he came out on the job in the 80s. He said back then we had a lot of football players, basketball players joining the police department. And then now you fast forward, now you got all these college, you got a bunch of guys playing chess now becoming police officers. So you see a difference. You had a lot more, the old school guys are confirmed. You got a lot more hands-on guys than all the tools on the belt. Now you got guys running for the tools. Maybe a lot of the new guys are saying, well, we can't do what you guys did because of liability. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You know, I think the liability is lower when you put hands on somebody versus shooting them or using a taser. So, Dave, go ahead and tell me what you think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I mean, it's not okay. We'll get to training in a second, but how about let's start with recruitment? Like you said, years ago, who were the cops? The guy, the linebacker, the all-city wrestler. Guys who had physicality, and plus back then you had physical standards that have largely gone on by the wayside. You used to have like a bench body weight 10 reps or just have some physical presence around about yourself personally. In addition to that, then spend most of your training on defensive tactics because, look, you know me, that most cops cannot shoot, and there's not enough training time spent on shooting, but proportionately. How many times you get into a shooting as opposed to an altercation where you're on with somebody? It's like, what is it, 1,000 to 1? So the focus needs to be on that kind of training. And if it was yours truly, I would make everybody take like 6 months, a year of judo and keep up. And why judo? Because everything's about grabbing the bad guy, putting him on the ground, getting him in cuffs. Not doing Muay Thai and not trying. It's put him down, get him in cuffs, get him out of there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I mean, I agree with you guys as far as how it's a different generation as far as that guy who was the blue collar guy who would work and roll up his sleeves, get his hands dirty, and make the arrest, and now you got the college guy. You know, it's like, and I always said this, it's like switching the football team to the chess team and tell them go out and make arrests. You know, so we have a different caliber
A little,
of cops that are out there. But another thing that y'all touched on earlier was the training. And what about the training? I would like to know what their policy was, because what if their policy and training was proper, but he didn't follow it? So it might be in place, but for some reason, he's not following his training. I know instincts, and you guys know in policing, you're going to keep your distance. And another thing I want to know is, why were they there? What was the call about? What's the initial engagement for them actually being there? And do we need more officers present? Are we there for a wanted party? What is what's going on? So there are a lot more questions to be answered.
Yeah, but whatever it is, we know that the officer, when he made contact, it was all the way wrong. Stepping to a guy like he was a street thug, he got handled like he was a street thug, and the next thing you know, the guy's getting away. It's just, regardless, like it just doesn't make any sense, and that was embarrassing to everybody who does the job right. Dave, I'm about to end this. What do you say?
No, I said absolutely wrong, wrong, wrong.
Yeah, all the way, all the way. Dom, I'm about to close it out. You got anything to add?
No, I think Dave was 100% right. I'm glad he brought up judo. I can't believe that a lot of people don't realize judo is probably the superior martial art for training, because it starts on the feet. I mean, the second would be Greco-Roman wrestling. But when it comes to training, anybody who's ever been a defensive tactics instructor knows the joke of what it is. When you go teach a class, could be an 8-hour class, could be a 40-hour instructor class. We know that cops, they don't train. They don't train at all. They come to a class you give, not to learn what you're teaching, but to teach you what they know. And it's always been the biggest pain in the ass. You got a bunch of machismo, type A personalities, come to something. You're always taught to teach the weakest link, which is a joke and a half, because you're dumb as shit down. You go do that, and then you know how it is. You need reps. Guys, let's see reps. Guys will do 2-3 stuff, 2-3 times of a movement. They'll talk shit to each other, then go stand in the corner drinking coffee. So training for cops has always been a joke. I can't stand when people say, well, departments aren't paying for training. That's a load of shit, too, because there are hundreds of well-qualified defensive tactics and martial arts instructors all across the nation who offer stuff for free for cops, and those cheap sons of bitches won't even take training. So it's really not an admin's problem at all. It's the cops' problem, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Joe, how many times have we talked about the carotid restraint? That was the best, safest, most effective way to control somebody without hurting the person you were trying to subdue and without getting hurt yourself.
Yeah, and
all of a sudden now they take that tool away. Now you can't even put your body weight on a person's chest. What are you supposed to do? I mean, so the whole concept, and who are making these decisions? People who have never done the job at all. And I think, to your point about the Tony, about the chess team playing football, who's like the politicians are they don't see themselves as the blue collar cop. They see themselves as, well, I went to college. I'd be a great cop if I wanted to. That's the mentality, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because here in Atlanta, it's a pretty small department, Marietta, right? And they adopted this new way of defensive tactics, and it's jiu-jitsu, like you said. And they did a study where prior to that, officers being injured, what was it? It was officers being injured and individuals being injured as well. Now that they implemented a lot of this training, and these guys are mandated to go and attend this training, you see the actual injury level on both sides, whether it's police or civilian, decline drastically over a period of time, because now you got a much more qualified officer on the street and able to actually get somebody to the ground safely and securely. So it's a win-win, and I think more departments should be going to it. But everybody's talking about budget and money, which is a crock, like you said, Don. But hey, it is what it is. And listen, like I always tell you guys on every segment, your beef, whatever you trying to argue, you save that for the courtroom. You never do it on the side of the road. The officer wins the fight on the side of the road. right? He has home court advantage. Always take your fight to the courtroom. Please stay safe, and I'll see you next video.